Hello, my friends. Good morning. Um, so I've been using the Omnipod insulin pump now for about 2 weeks. So I just wanted to kind of touch base with you guys and let you know how it's going and give you some pros and cons. Um, First of all, let me just say right off the bat, I love this thing. I love it so much. Um, so I'm gonna say that, and then I'm gonna give you some of the cons, and then I'll go to pros. So cons, you have to change it every 3 days, which it honestly I changed it on Saturday, and I have to change it again today, and I kind of feel like, but I just changed it. So those 3 days go quick, and you feel like you're kind of always changing it. So there's that. I did discover through my type 1 moms group that there's an 8-hour grace period after the 72 hours expire to allow you to like use up the insulin that's left in there, because when I changed my pod on Saturday, I had 13 units left in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, that could get me through more than half the day. And I felt so bad throwing it out. Um, and I know that it's possible to like MacGyver something to suck insulin out of it, but I haven't tried to do it yet. Um, so I was very, very happy to learn last night that you get 8 hours from when your PDM tells you it expires. So, like, if you look at my PDM right now, convert, sorry, um, it's telling me my pod expired, change it, and then it's telling me it's low on insulin. But there's some still left in there. Um, so I was able to use what was left to do my breakfast, and it's continuing to do my basal. So I'm just sucking every last bit out of it that I can. I mean, I'm gonna have to change it like really, really soon, but I'm glad that I didn't have that. I knew that I could extend it, because otherwise I would have thrown it out this morning with like 10 units left in it. Um, so yay. So bit of a con that you do have to change it frequently, but it's okay. Um, Con is remembering to take this thing with me when I leave the house. I forget a lot. I really do. And if I'm not going to be eating, it's not a big deal. My basal continues to go even without the PDM. Um, but, every now and then the thing beeps, and I'm like, I don't know why, because I don't have my PDM. So, like, it gives you alerts, but it beeps on the pod, and then you press the button on the PDM to see what the alert is. And if I don't have my PDM with me, I can't check. And if I do end up out longer than I expected, or end up eating something, I can't bolus without the PDM. So remembering to take it with me, not a big deal, but I forget. Working on that. So this one is not a con for me, but for others it might be. The pod holds up to 200 units of insulin. I don't fill it that much. I fill it to about 100, and that's enough for me for 3 days. I don't need 200, so for me that's not a problem. But I know that for some that would be. So hey, there you go. Pros. You guys, I don't have to inject myself anymore. That's like the most amazing thing, especially when we're out somewhere, because I would always like try to do it discreetly, and like it just was awkward. And it's so nice to be able to just like pull out my PDM and be like doot doot doot, and like there it is, and that's it. And that's awesome. It's really awesome. So that's fabulous. The other amazing thing that I really love, within the PDM, there's some really awesome records. So I can go in here. These are my options. My records. I can go through and see my insulin delivery history, my blood glucose history, because I have to put it in. I don't have to, but I do put it in every time that I bolus. I can see my carb history, so that tells me, it tells me how much I was bolusing for. So it can give you a better idea of how much you need over the course of the day, because you can go back and see in insulin delivery. On this day, I used this much. So, like, insulin delivery today, so far, I've had 9.65. I go to yesterday, I had 25. It's like you can go through every day and see how much you used, how much was bolus, how much was basal. So, like, at the beginning, you're kind of like estimating how much you're going to need to put in it. But once you've been doing it for a little while, you can go through and see what your average is for the day and figure out how much you're going to need, so that you're not putting in more or less than what you need. Does that make sense? It gives you a better idea of how much you need to put in it when you fill the pod. The minimum fill is 85 units. I usually go around 100, just to be safe. But it has to be at least 85, and then the max is 200. But it's awesome, you guys. And there's no tubes, and I can wear it in the shower. I can go swimming in the summer. It's waterproof. It's like, it's this one tiny little thing on my stomach. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. If you've been debating whether or not to do it, and you hate injections, I mean, I didn't have a choice, so I did them, but I didn't like them. I don't have to do injections anymore. The guy, I told my husband, he was such a good, well-trained salesman. When I called to talk about all of this stuff with the Omnipod company, and to get set up, he asked me, he's like, how many times in a day do you have to give yourself injections? And I was doing Lantus split dose twice a day. And then Novolog, every time I ate, basically. So I was like, 7 or 8 times a day I'm injecting myself. And he's like, okay, so in 3 days, that's 21 to 24 times versus 1 time with the pod when you first set it up. And I was like, oh. That was like a mind blown kind of moment. So that's the hugest thing. That's huge, to not have to inject. And the no tubes that's key for me. I know that there are a lot of other pumps that have a lot of cool features and are amazing, but they're tubed. And that's just kind of, for me and my lifestyle, that's just kind of a deal breaker. I have little kids, they hang on me. I have dogs that jump on me. It's just, it wouldn't work out. I'm just picturing like the 10,000 ways that tubes would get pulled on. Plus, you have to disconnect then when you shower, when you swim, and you're not getting your basal then, which is not a big deal for a shower, but possibly when if you're going for a swim or something like that, depending on how long you could be without your basal for a while. Not me. I know that there are limits to how long I can stay in the water, like when I'm swimming and stuff like that. But I can still wear it in. And I can wear it to shower. I don't have to worry about anything. I'm trying to think how many changes I've done now. I guess 4. No issues. I haven't had any issues with the cannula. So far, I've only worn it on my belly. I wore one on my lower back when I was wearing it with saline, like just to try it out. I was expecting that to be uncomfortable, but it really wasn't. Even sleeping, it really wasn't bad. So I definitely, that'll be a spot that I use like for a regular pod. And you can also wear them on your thighs and on the backs of your arms. So, I mean, yeah, you're changing it every 3 days, but you have a lot of options as to where it can go. So, I gotta say, loving the Omnipod. It's awesome. So far, nothing but praises. Um, I have heard that they will be within the next year, maybe 2 years, having the loop technology set up with Dexcom, where it just kind of like runs itself. Um, I love that in theory. I love that in theory. I don't know if I'll fully be able to give up like all of that control. We'll see. I'm not there yet. Right now, I'm just loving my Omnipod. So, yeah. So, if it's something that you're considering, I would highly suggest if you just call and talk to them, they'll send you a sample one just to wear. Like it wouldn't actually have anything in it. It's you can just wear it just to see how it feels if it gets in the way. I have had absolutely no issues with it lifting or starting to come off or anything, even with kids hanging all over me. um, the one that I wore like just as a trial, the cannula wasn't in. Um, like it basically was just a sticker on me. That stayed on for a week without lifting. I just left it just to see how long it would last, and it stayed for a week without lifting. That's amazing. I have had no issues with it budging or anything. Um, they're staying put really well. So, so far, really, really good. Very highly recommend it. They're also a bit more manageable price wise because you don't need all of the extra stuff that comes with tubed systems. You don't need infusion sites or fusion sets, sorry. You don't need all the extra stuff. Literally all you need is the pod. And when you start out, you need to buy your PDM, but that's it. Like as far as supplies going forward, all I need is my pod. That's it. So, well, boxes of new pods. But it's awesome. So, yay. I'm loving it. If you have any questions, if you want to know more details about any of these things, I can't promise that I have all the answers, but I'm happy to tell you what I know, or point you in a good direction, hopefully. But yeah, so put your questions and comments down there, and I will absolutely follow up with you. And please like and follow me to keep up with all of the exciting things happening in my world. Have a great day, guys.